They say blood is thicker than water, but they never tell you how easily it can stain your entire life. I used to believe that family was a sanctuary, a safe harbor, where you could run when the rest of the world turned cold. I spent 26 years fiercely protecting my younger sister Chloe, shielding her from every storm, and giving up my own dreams just so she could chase hers. I thought we shared an unbreakable bond, a quiet understanding that no matter what happened, we had each other's backs. But standing in the center of my own living room, surrounded by the people I loved most, I realized that the person who knew me best was the exact same person who knew exactly where to drive the knife. It was supposed to be a night of celebration. Just 3 months remained until my wedding day, the day I would marry Liam, a man who truly felt like my missing piece. He was gentle, fiercely loyal, and loved me with a quiet intensity that always made me feel safe. We had invited my parents and Chloe over for a celebratory dinner to look over the final venue arrangements. The table was set, the candles were flickering, and a warmth filled the room. But the moment Chloe walked through the front door, the air shifted. There was a sharp, restless energy radiating from her, a toxic spark hidden behind a tight, forced smile. I dismissed it at first, assuming she was just stressed from work, but as we sat down, Chloe suddenly cleared her throat. Her eyes darting between my parents and Liam, the ambient warmth of the room instantly dissolved into a suffocating chill. She didn't offer a toast. Instead, she looked directly at Liam, her voice trembling with a terrifying mix of fake pity and calculated malice. She told him that she couldn't let him walk blindly into a trap. She claimed that for the past 6 months I had been leading a double life. According to Chloe, I wasn't the devoted fiancé Liam thought I was. She looked my future husband dead in the eye and accused me of hiding a secret man, a wealthy older lover who was allegedly funding our lifestyle and renting a secret apartment downtown just for our private encounters. The silence that followed was deafening. My mother gasped, dropping her fork against the porcelain plate with a sharp clank, while my father sat entirely frozen. I felt the blood completely drain from my face, my heart hammering violently against my ribs as I looked at my own sister, utterly paralyzed by the sheer gravity of her lie. I looked over at Liam, terrified of the doubt I might see in his eyes. But what I didn't know that day was that some secrets have a way of unraveling the person who holds them. I didn't know that Chloe's carefully constructed trap had a fatal flaw, or that Liam wasn't just listening, he was waiting. The accusation hung heavily in the air, thick and toxic. For a few agonizing seconds, no one moved. I stared at Chloe, my mind spinning into a dark, chaotic void. It felt like a nightmare from which I couldn't wake up. "Chloe, what are you talking about?" I finally whispered, my voice shaking so violently I could barely project it across the table. "How can you sit there and say something so horrific?" Chloe didn't flinch. In fact, seeing my pain seemed to embolden her. She reached into her purse and pulled out a stack of printed papers, tossing them onto the dining table right in front of Liam. "I'm sorry, Maya," she said, her voice dripping with a sickening manufactured sadness. "I couldn't let Liam ruin his life. I followed you last week. I saw you walking into that luxury high-rise building downtown. I even found these call logs on your old iPad. Look at the late-night messages, Liam. Look at the hotel reservations under her name. She's been seeing him for months. She's using you as a safety net while she enjoys a secret life with someone else." My mother put her hands over her mouth, tears instantly welling in her eyes. "Maya, please tell me this isn't true," she pleaded, her voice breaking. "Tell me your sister is mistaken. It's a lie." I cried out, standing up so fast my chair nearly tipped over. I looked at my father, desperate for an ally, but his face was an unreadable mask of disappointment and confusion. The evidence looked real. There were printed text messages from an unknown number, filled with affectionate words and secret meeting times, all addressed to a name that was undeniably mine. There were digital receipts for a luxury downtown apartment. My mind raced, trying to comprehend how this was possible. Then, like a sudden flash of lightning in a dark storm, the truth hit me. My old iPad. I had given it to Chloe 6 months ago when her laptop broke down. I had completely reset it, or so I thought, but my cloud account must have still been accessible, or worse. She had used her intimate knowledge of my personal life, my passwords, and my schedule to orchestrate this entire nightmare. Chloe had spent months quietly, meticulously building a case to destroy my happiness. The depth of the betrayal shattered something deep inside my chest. This was my little sister, the girl I had shared a bedroom with, the girl I had comforted through every heartbreak, the girl whose college textbooks I had paid for by working double shifts at my marketing job. When our family went through financial hardships years ago, I had willingly stepped aside, letting her have the opportunities I was denied. I never asked for a thank you. I only wanted her to be happy. And now, she was standing in my home, systematically tearing my life apart with a cold, calculated smile hidden behind her tears. "Liam, you have to believe me," I sobbed, turning to the man I loved. My vision was blurred with tears, my chest tightening so much I could hard breathe. "I swear to you, I don't know what these are. I have never been unfaithful to you. I love you. Only you." Liam looked down at the papers on the table. His face was completely stoic, devoid of the anger or explosive fury I expected. He didn't yell, he didn't storm out, he just picked up the printed text messages, studying them with a quiet, intense focus. Chloe leaned in, sensing an opportunity to drive the final nail into the coffin. "Liam, she's just putting on a show. She's always been the golden child, the perfect daughter who can do no wrong. But this is who she really is. You deserve someone who actually values loyalty, someone who wouldn't humiliate you like this." Hearing her words, a profound shift occurred within me. The overwhelming, paralyzing sorrow began to recede, replaced by a cold, sharp clarity. The sheer unfairness of it sparked a fire in my soul. I looked at Chloe and realized this wasn't about a secret man at all. This was about deep-seated, toxic envy. She hated that I was happy. She hated that I had found a partner who adored me. She wanted to strip away the one beautiful thing I had built for myself because she couldn't bear to see me succeed where she felt she hadn't. "Why are you doing this to me, Chloe?" I asked, my voice dropping its frantic tone, becoming frighteningly calm. "What did I ever do to deserve this level of hatred from you?" "I'm just doing the right thing, Maya," she snapped, her mask slipping for a fraction of a second, revealing a glimpse of pure, unadulterated jealousy. "The truth always comes out eventually." My father finally spoke, his voice heavy with sorrow. "Maya, if you have an explanation, you need to give it to us right now. Because right now, this looks incredibly damning." I opened my mouth to defend myself, to try and explain that the downtown building was where one of my major corporate clients was located, and that the receipts must have been doctored. But before a single word could escape my lips, Liam stood up. The entire room went dead silent. He placed the papers back down on the wooden table, smoothed out his jacket, and looked directly at my sister. "You're absolutely right, Chloe," Liam said, his voice echoing with a chilling calmness that made everyone freeze. "The truth always comes out eventually. And I think it's time we look at the actual truth." Chloe blinked, a faint smirk beginning to form on her lips, believing she had won. She thought Liam was about to break off the engagement right then and there. She reached out a hand as if to comfort him. "Liam, I know this is incredibly painful, but you're doing the right thing, don't touch me," Liam interrupted, his tone cutting through the air like a razor blade. He reached into his inner jacket pocket and pulled out a sleek, black smartphone. He tapped the screen a few times, then slid the phone across the table, stopping it right in front of my father. "What is this, Liam?" my father asked, squinting at the screen. "That," Liam stated, turning his icy gaze entirely onto Chloe, "is a photograph taken by a private investigator exactly 4 days ago. Go ahead, open it." My father picked up the phone, and as his eyes scanned the screen, his face transformed from confusion to absolute horror. My mother leaned over his shoulder, letting out a sharp, breathless gasp. Chloe's confident posture instantly withered. The color faded from her cheeks, leaving her looking completely ghost-white. What is the meaning of this?" my father demanded, his voice shaking with a terrifying rage as he looked up, staring directly at Chloe. Liam took a step forward, shielding me instinctively. "4 weeks ago, Chloe, you approached me at a coffee shop while Maya was at work. You told me you suspected Maya was keeping secrets. You thought you were being clever, planting seeds of doubt in my mind so that when you pulled off this little stunt tonight, I would instantly believe you. But what you didn't realize is that I know Maya. I know her heart, her loyalty, and her soul. I knew instantly that you were lying. But I needed to know why." Liam gestured toward the phone. "So, I hired a professional. The photograph on that phone shows you, Chloe, sitting in a car outside that very same downtown high-rise building. It shows you handing a cash envelope to a man who works in it, the man you hired, to doctor those fake call logs and create a fraudulent lease agreement using Maya's identification. The investigator didn't just take photos, he got a full statement from the technician you paid off. He confessed to everything hours ago. The trap had completely snapped shut, but it wasn't around my neck. It was around Chloe's. No, that's not true. This is a setup." Chloe screamed, her voice cracking hysterically as she looked around the room, finding absolutely no mercy in anyone's eyes. My parents looked at her with a profound sense of shame and heartbreak. The daughter they had defended was exposed as a malicious saboteur. "Get out of our house," Liam said, his voice low, steady, and unyielding. "And don't you ever come near my wife again." Chloe burst into frantic tears, attempting to grab my mother's hand, but my mother pulled away, shaking her head in utter disgust, realizing she had completely destroyed her own standing in the family. Chloe grabbed her purse and fled the apartment, slamming the door behind her. The silence that followed was heavy, but the suffocating weight that had crushed my chest just moments ago was entirely gone. My parents apologized through tears, deeply ashamed that they had doubted me even for a second. I forgave them, but boundaries had been permanently drawn. As for Chloe, the legal ramifications of using my identity to forge financial documents quickly caught up with her, forcing her to relocate to another state in utter disgrace, completely estranged from the family. That night, as the chaos settled and the house grew quiet, Liam held me tightly in his arms. I looked down at the beautiful engagement ring on my finger, feeling a profound sense of gratitude. This harrowing experience taught me a powerful lesson about life. True family isn't merely defined by blood or a shared last name. It is forged through unwavering loyalty, trust, and love. The very fire that was meant to reduce my life to ashes ended up purifying it, burning away the hidden malice and leaving behind a love that was truly unbreakable. Please subscribe for more stories. Thank you.